destroy them. So God is saying, no matter how many soldiers, no matter how large of an army, doesn't matter, He still controls things, all things. Is that the truth? Do I believe it? God can protect me, even in the worst situations.
Like you went in the hospital?
Hey, today my blood counts, you know what they are?
They're higher now?
No. Any doctor who would read my numbers of blood would think that I was already dead. They are still lousy.
Wow!
My platelets, normally somewhere between 150 to 200. A surgeon will not do surgery on the person with less than 100. Mine, 27. White blood, normal, somewhere around 5. Mine, 0.7. Red blood, 200, 300. Mine, 8.5. People are amazed. You look fine. And I tell them, I feel fine. And the doctor said, wear the mask. You will die. I tell them, not dead yet. No, really, they have given me, this week, they have given me 3 new shots to increase my white blood count, because those, they say, are dangerously low. All of them are really dangerously low, but they want my white blood up first, and they can't increase it. I don't know why. No. Doubt it, yeah. One day I will become dead. With a virus, one day I will just be dead. That's what the doctors tell me. Yeah.
Maybe it's your Mountain Dew like you said.
Well, and I think, really, I can accept, low blood, high blood sugar. That's the one that is high, is my blood sugar. But, that is the one that is high. I can accept all of the other low, fine. But the one thing that I cannot accept is missing my mountain.
So you had to go to the doctor?
Coffee is okay, yeah. Yeah, in the past, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, seemed to be just fine. Yeah, the last one, they find out that I have hematocrit of 22, and today my hematocrit, 22. No change. They keep trying to add to me, but I tell God, feeling fine. You're doing a good job. All of my enemies, you conquered them fine. God says to the people of Zion, don't be afraid. Okay. His staff protects me. His rod beats away my enemies. And so I'm fine. I'm doing good. I'm not supposed to be good. But, oh, I am. I feel every day. Thank you. thank you, thank you. Yes. Yep. The Lord of armies, his whip will rise against the country of Midian and the rock of Oreb, and he will raise his staff over the waters, and it will be like in Egypt, parting them and letting his people go free, and the enemy round him. Atha, they pass through Migron, they pass through Michmash, they go through the mountain pass and the lodge at Geba for the night. All of the highest trees will be cut down. The tallest will be brought down, and he will cut away the bush in the forest with the axe of Lebanon will fall in front of the mighty one. So, again, you know, bad news for all of the nations. And then just a little verse that says, oh, and you, my people who live in Zion, don't worry. He's talking about destroying nations, and then he says to the people of his people, don't worry, you will save, all of them will be destroyed, and I will save you, my love, in the hands, I will comfort you to my rest. Chapter 11. From Jesse's stump, the stump.
More like a tree of the
Jesse.
or plant.
Yesterday, my son, Will, mowed the lawn.
And test the stuff.
No. He saw there is it's a bush that is this tall, about this wide, this deep. That before was a tree. Not a huge tree, but it was a tree. And this bush now, I like it. My wife said, no. Cut off all of them except one. I said, why? She said, it's not supposed to have a bush in the middle of the yard. Told her I like it. But he left my bush. But before it was sawn off and taken away, and there was just a stump. Well, sometimes the root dies, and then nothing comes up. But oftentimes, one will come up. It will be weak, and you will cut it off, dig out the stump. These roots are very, very strong. They shoot up probably 10 stumps from the central stump. Probably 10 tendrils are coming up that are this high now. And I could cut off 9 of them, and it would look almost like a tree. But my stump of Jesse, you have to know all of the boring names. And then this story is amazing. This story from the stump of Jesse.
Family.
Yeah, okay. From the family tree. Well, the family tree, is that an important family? Jesse's family.
If I remember, it was David.
Oh,
family.
yes, the son. His name was King David. Okay? The one that God chose to be king of his people. David is the son from Jesse. So, but how about the father? You know who the father was?
No, not Jacob, but
Jesse's father's name was Obed. Why do I know that? I'm not reading it.
you read it before and you went to college.
I know the name Obed because the names
goes all the way back
from Abraham
Wow.
to Jesus, the names just before David were Jesse, Obed, Boaz. Okay, you remember the book named Ruth? Ruth was not from God's people. Ruth was a lady who lived in Moab. Those people were from the family tree of Esau. Those people refused to allow Israel to come through their country. When they were coming from Egypt and going to the promised land, Moab said, "You can't come through us. We will not allow you to drink any of our water. We will not allow you to eat any of our food." Moab was kind of insulting Israel. That country had a lot of food. The country had plenty of water, and they refused to allow Israel to come through. So Moses could have defeated them in war, but Moses said, "No, we'll go around, that's fine. But God will watch what you are doing and will destroy you." So they went around and they got through to the promised land. But Moab, God seems to have a grudge against them. But when Israel is without food, a woman named Naomi moved with her husband. They moved to Moab because they had food and Israel had none. So they moved to Moab, and the father quickly dies. The two sons marry women from Moab. Good morning! The two women from Moab one's name is Ruth, and the other one's name is, have you ever heard the name Orpah? How do you spell that? The lady on not Oprah. No. Well, the mother of Oprah was trying to name Oprah Orpah. That woman was the sister-in-law of Ruth. And the mother of Oprah wanted to name her daughter for that second sister. But she spelled it wrong, so today the richest woman in the world, I think, I'm not sure. She's a very rich woman.
But she's not the richest.
Oprah.
She's
not the richest woman? I find it hard to believe.
The richest one that I heard of was, I believe it's Mexico.
The richest man.
That's the richest man from Mexico. Yeah. Maybe his wife is counting herself rich. But Oprah earned her own money. And for the person earning their own money as a woman, do you know of any richer woman than Oprah?
Yeah. One but faith wife. And she's always donating her money. I've got her name.
Well, but again, she did not earn her own money. My wife may imagine herself rich, but it's not from my money. Oprah, a very rich woman, her name should have been spelled Orpah, because that's the sister-in-law of Ruth. But Ruth marries Boaz, and Boaz then married to Ruth. They have a baby named Obed, and Obed has a baby named Jesse, and then Jesse has a baby named the last baby boy
with David.
named David.
There were 7 boys.
Yeah, 7 boys that were much better looking, much better, stronger men, much smarter men. But all of the 7, God passes them by. And then the last one, the baby of the family, they didn't even call him. He was out watching the sheep. And Samuel, the prophet, said, "You don't have any other sons?" I said, "Yeah, we have one more, but these are far better choice." And Samuel said, "No, go and get David, bring him, anointed him, set on the crown to become king." But Jesse, from the shoot, from Jesse's stump, will come a branch that will grow lots of fruit, and the Spirit of the Lord will remain on him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of advice and power, the Spirit of knowledge and fear of the Lord. He will not judge by what his eyes see, or decide by what his ears hear. He will judge the poor rightly, and he will make a fair decision from humble people on the earth. He will strike down the earth with the rod from his mouth, and he will kill the evil people with his breath from his lips. Justice will be a belt around his waist, and faithfulness will be a belt around his hips. Kind of weird. Who is it talking about? Yeah.
Jesus.
It's explaining about Jesus. From Jesse, the family tree that's been cut down, God is choosing a king. God is choosing a savior for his people. Does that mean David? David?
It was from the family of David.
From the family of David? But is that David? It's not David. David was not a perfect person?
No. He even stand by having, if I remember reading it, having sex with another woman.
Another man's wife. Yeah. Why do they all do that? Abraham, David, all of them seem like such foolish people. Why? Yeah, that's true. Well, and God proves that He does not save, He does not use only a person who is perfect, but He uses people like me, like you, like you. God uses people who are not perfect, that they do sin, and then God forgives them and lifts them up and uses them for His plan, for His purpose. Okay. Wolves will live with lambs. Leopards will lie down with goats. Calves and young lions, 1-year-old lambs will lie together like little children will lead them. The cows and the bears will eat together the hay. The lions will eat straw like an ox. An infant will play near the snake, the poisonous snake's hole, and a young toddler will put their hand into the viper's nest. Wow. They will not be hurt. They will not be destroyed. And anywhere my holy mountain, there will be perfection only. The world will be filled with knowledge of the Lord like waters that cover the sea. At the same time, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the people to gather round, and the nations will come to him. The resting place will be glorious. The time the Lord will use His power again will recover what remains from His people in Assyria, in Upper and Lower Egypt, in Sudan, in Elam, in Babylonia, in Hamath, in the islands of the sea. Islands of the sea? What does that mean? America? The island that is in the sea? Is that America? America?
No, I don't think so.
American Indians call it Turtle Island.
Turtle Island is what the Indians called North and South America. But oftentimes, people do not understand the islands in the sea. Maybe America. I see that often in these prophetic verses where it talks about this country, that country, naming all of the European countries. And then, well, and Africa, the countries. And then it says, and the islands in the sea. How many places do the Bible have America?
None.
God didn't know about America?
Oh, he knew.
He knew, for sure.
But he didn't think it was important at the time.
God didn't think that America was important?
He just said it right there.
Yeah. He thought it was important. Yeah.
Not what I meant to say, though. I had it wrong.
Those people that God is writing, do they know about America? No.
That's what I meant to say.
I understood what you meant.
Yeah.
But this seems to be talking about places that, I mean, are clearly places that I know from my biblical geography. I studied that. I know all of the names for the ancient places long ago. But all of these, and then adds, and the islands in the sea. So, interesting. Interesting. All of these, when they are scattered to the ends of the world, he will gather his people, Judah, from the four corners, of the earth. God said, we can find a good woman in any corner of the earth. Then he made the world round. Is that right?
No.
God said you can find a good woman in any corner of the world. But then God made the world round. There are no corners.
There may be corner in the wall, but no corner in the world.
Yeah. My people will conquer those nations, Ephraim, Philistia, the people east. They will conquer Edom and Moab. The people from Ammon, that's north, will be subject to them. The Lord will dry up the Gulf of Egypt's sea, and he will never allow the Euphrates to come again with his hot wind to divide the 7 streams. So all the people can walk over in their sandals. There will be a highway for the remaining few people who are left in Assyria, like there was in Israel when it came from Egypt. That's chapter 11. Questions? Lots of country names.
That sounds like the country today of Iraq and all them areas.
Oh yeah. Well, but more. I mean, these areas are all north and east and even up toward Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, 99 degrees for the temperature.
Outside 99? Oh, maybe. Yeah. No. But chapter 11 again, God is explaining his punishment against all of the other nations and his gathering of his own people from this nation, that nation, these nations, all of the nations where God's people are scattered. He gathers them together to bring them to his holy mountain, Zion, which here on earth there is no Zion mountain, but his mountain Zion.
It's heaven.
Yeah, in heaven. The new Jerusalem, the new city that will come down from God. That he will gather his people together, bring them there, and then there will be no pain, no suffering, no punishment, no sadness, none. All of it will be perfect there. And the nations will be defeated. Even the strong people.
Even Obama will be defeated.
This morning, kind of a fun Facebook morning, two of the quotes that I will also mention during the sermon. But the one quote is from the leader, the boss of the UN. And the boss of the UN said, for us to succeed in a one world government, for us to gather all of the governments under the UN, we must first take away a person's self-importance so that the person thinks of himself as no importance. Secondly, we need to take away families. Families are a big problem for governments. Families are a government in themselves, so we've got to get rid of families. Thirdly, we have to get rid of national pride. People cannot think of themselves united as one nation. We have to take away all of the national pride. And fourthly, we need to get rid of religion.
One!
Yeah.
One!
The UN said that is our goal.
That would never happen.
Let's get rid of those four things, and then we can succeed at having one government that is led by the UN. The UN can then rule the world successfully.
That will never happen.
We'll see.
It's been predicted in the Bible anyway, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, when the Bible says that's going to happen, I believe it. But it is terrible. I agree that, for us to, they are right. For a person to feel that I am important.
Yeah.
I mean, I am one speck in a universe full of stars. I am one little speck on the earth. I'm not important. My family, if there is no God in my family, who gave me family? Let's take away the babies from their dad and mom. Let's take away the children from their parents, from the family that cares for them. Let's take them away and say, you'll grow up, you don't need family. Our government is your family. I love to quote Hitler. My favorite quote. Hitler said,
Yep. I remember that.
You're giving me an army. That's it.
Okay? Give me your children. In 20 years, you've given me your nation. If my father and mother did not teach me what is right, what is wrong, what would I do today?
Be in trouble, maybe?
Would I be a preacher?
No.
No. Emma is right. Emma is right. You and I would be too ornery for anything. We would be out playing, causing all kinds of trouble out there. I would be out there with you.
That's why I like that quote about the spanking.
Yeah. 20 years and you've given me your nation. Notice, the deaf world is very, very generational. The grandpas and grandmas don't know the deaf babies. The fathers and mothers don't care about the deaf grandpas and grandmas. The children who go to the mainstream school can't understand the deaf children that go to the institute. And they do not feel connected. We, deaf, are one nation. We, deaf, are one people joined. One world that is deaf, that care for each other. People of the deaf culture, from generation to generation, they forget each other. That's one of the reasons why the deaf community has such a hard time for us to reach out to new generations of deaf children, for us to go out to their home and say, I care about you. They say, we don't even know you. Right? Yeah. I would love to have deaf children. My program at the deaf church in Des Moines, it was deaf grandpa and grandma night. We would order out some pizza and bring in boxes and boxes of pizza. You were there.
I was there. Yeah.
And Bill Kowski would tell stories of when he was in the 3rd grade and growing up at the Institute, and tell them stories of how he got in trouble, how he played with this.
You even had puppet shows.
Yes, the puppets. I had puppets that I made that had the arms that they could sign and tell stories. The puppets could tell stories for the children so that they would understand better. And the head, you could sign with the puppets. It was fun. It was very enjoyable. The deaf children loved to come and play and listen to the experience of deaf adults who had grown up. The deaf children, what do I do when I grow up? Many of them have many questions. And it would be really enjoyable for Ed or Gladys or Laverne to tell them stories. When you grew up, what was the world like? Did you have a computer on your desk at school? No. What was your Game Boy? What did it look like? My Game Boy, we went outside and we played on the swing set. Children don't know how to do that now. And to hear from you, to learn from you, that would be so much better than them having to guess at what life will be for the future. But the generation, let's take away the self-importance. Let's take away their family or the deaf culture. Let's take away their pride in our nation, our deaf world, and then we'll take away their religion. Has the world already stripped young, deaf children from religion? Already stripped it. And I cry, not because of my blood counts. I cry because of deaf children who don't know Jesus.
Yep.